Okay, concerning the bank API I posted you the time, this is the part two. So I just want to show you the test I wrote to ensure that API is working as intended and all the features are working correctly. So I have four tests here to test the different, the four classes we add. First, the user tests, which is testing the user class. So I have just two tests there. First, to ensure that the name is not editable. Let's look at that class again. So we have the nin as a private um, variable here, and then I exposed it as a property. Then property written this way is read only because there is no setter. So what that means is once you try to set the value of this property directly, it will raise an attribute error. Right? If you look at my account class, you can actually change the type of error raised. Here I actually implemented the set, but I didn't change anything. All I did was to raise another form of error, which is the not implemented error. This is for the account class. Okay, so let's get back to this. So that's that. I'm checking to ensure that that error is raised, meaning you cannot edit the name directly. The only way to do that is to set it. Once it is set, you can't edit it. Okay, so the same thing here, that the name I'm testing if the name actually returns the name of the user. So just two very simple tests there. And then here is the name, the namec test to test this namec class. I set up my name here, and then I first of all to check if the register user method, which is this method here, yeah. So if the register user method actually returns the user when it is successful, that it is supposed to return user, the user instance success. So those are the things to test if the return type is actually what you're expecting, and then if also the variables you're expecting, the input is correct. So this one says that the get user returns user if it is found, and then returns none if it is not found. So it test that, and then also test if the get name returns the name, or it returns none if it is not found. And then I test the search. So the search is just like if you're performing an Ajax search on a web application. So you send in input like the name. That's what I'm using for my search. So let's just look at the example. We'll look at this one in detail a bit. So I have four users. The first one is test one. Second one is test two. The third test three, and the last is this one. But instead of being called test four, the user is actually test two, almost the same with this, but then it has a suffix junior. Now I'm testing. I'm trying to search for a user by name test two, and these two users match that test. So I'm trying to check if actually this method will return these two users. So first of all, I check the length of what is returned. If it is two, meaning these and these have been returned, then I check that the dictionary return should be something like this. Since the name of the first this user is two, and then the name of this other user is four. So I try to construct the result the way it should be, and then I compare to what is returned if it is the same. So very simple implementations. The account test is actually more comprehensive. So I have the setup here. I have a user. I create a user, and then I store it as a class variable. Then the account to I created an account and I stored it as a class variable, and then I'm using that for the test. So I check if the account number is editable. Remember I said here it should be read only. If you try to edit the account number, it will raise a not implemented error. So that's what I'm trying to check if that error is actually raised. So account number editable, user not editable, and then balance not directly editable. The only way you can edit the balance is by altering. It's either when you deposit or you withdraw or you transfer. That's the only way you can edit or alter the balance of the account. And then here I'm checking if the account number property actually returns the account number or if it returns something else. I don't like that space there. Okay, so we have Yeah, if the get account number method actually returns the formatted account. So if you use this, does it return this, or it returns the account number this way? So I'm testing all those things. So I'm also testing if the initial balance is zero and some other tests. So I'll just scroll slowly so you can look at those tests. Then these other ones, some testing for the deposit method, and then for the withdrawal method. So you should ideally should test all the methods that are all the methods in your class. Then you should also test the return type. You should test the input to those methods too. Okay, so that's all. Also testing transfer, testing everything. Okay, and then the last one is the bank tests. So testing the bank class. So this one is pretty simple. I have the name C here, and I have a user, and I have the bank created, and then I create an account for the bank, and then I'm using that to check if the create account method of the bank actually returns an account, if it successfully creates an account for the user. Then I also check if the create account raises value error when the name is not valid. Now we have just one user, the name should be one. And then here we are trying to create an account, and then we are looking for user with 345. That is not existent in this API. So it should raise a value error, or you can change some of this error from value error to maybe other types of error, but it should actually raise an error. The reason is this is an API, so you those it's good that APIs should raise errors so that the users of the API will now catch the error and print custom messages or handle the error the way they want to. So that's why I'm raising error instead of handling the error, or instead of just printing a message. Okay, so that's that, and then this one I'm also checking if the get account returns none if the account number is not found, if the account does not exist with that bank. So very simple test. Uh, that's all. So we are going to check to run to see if our test will actually pass. So I'll click on this to run all the tests at once, and after running it says wow, that the test they've all passed. That is very good. But then I want to tell you something. I actually changed something in this class. uh, the withdrawal method here, I add less than or equal to. This is what I add here. So I changed it to less than. So if in the other tutorial, all you have to do, if you're following with the tutorial, just change this to less than or equal to. I mean to less than, not less than, equal to. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Just stay safe. Bye.